Thanks for joining another KnoItAllz podcast. This is a quick take. If you like the content, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch, Facebook and Instagram. But today, I'm coming at you in and out real quick. Want to talk to you about what I perceive to be the NFL Mount Rushmore. And Mount Rushmore has 4 presidents on them. I believe it's Washington, Lincoln, Roosevelt, and I'm missing one. I want to say it's Jefferson. But anyway, 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore located in South Dakota. My Mount Rushmore is going to have 5 NFL all-time greats on it. And in no particular order am I ranking these players. I'm just going to give you my top 5 all-time NFL players. So, we're going to start out with defensive end, Reggie White. Reggie White played for the Philadelphia Eagles and Green Bay Packers. He was drafted out of Tennessee, I believe, in 1986. He's one of the all-time NFL sack leaders. His nickname is the Minister of Defense. Reggie White was a beast. He had to be double teamed, sometimes had to be triple teamed. He was just a freak of nature for that time, for the late 80s, early 90s. He was a freak of nature. He was the first big free agent when the NFL went to free agency. He was one of the first big free agents when he left Philadelphia to go to Green Bay to sign for a major contract. He ended up winning the Super Bowl in Green Bay. Brett Favre was the quarterback. I believe that was in 1996 against the New England Patriots, the Drew Bledsoe-led New England Patriots. Bill Parcells was the coach in that Super Bowl. This was before Belichick, before Brady. But he won the Super Bowl, and he's one of the 5 players on my NFL's Mount Rushmore. My next player on the NFL Mount Rushmore, I got to go with Jim Brown. Jim Brown is one of the best all-time running backs. He only played in the NFL for about 8 years, and he retired to go to acting and movie and activism. He was the Brown. Last time the Browns won any NFL championships, they've never been to a Super Bowl. Last time they won any NFL championships was in Jim Brown's time. He played for the Browns 1957 through 1965. When he retired, he was an NFL all-time rushing leader. He went to Syracuse University, drafted pick 6 of round 1 in the 1957 NFL draft. He was a 3-time NFL most valuable player. I mean, Jim Brown was just a monster. Back then, he was the size of lineman, but was a running back and had ridiculous speed and just athleticism that he could cut and just all kinds of things. When he retired, he led the league in rushing. He was a 8-time rushing yard leader in the NFL. That's about his whole career. 5-time NFL touchdown leader. And he was on the 75th anniversary team, the 100th anniversary team, and he's in the Cleveland Browns Ring of Honor. Jim Brown was just ahead of his time. And back then the passing game wasn't elaborate as what it is now. So teams knew Jim Brown were getting the ball and you couldn't stop him. And he had a thing, when he got tackled, he would get up slow every time. And he did this meticulously. Every time he would get up really, really slow, almost like he was hurt. But he did that on purpose so players wouldn't know when he was hurt, if he was ever hurt. He always did this. So I think Jim Brown's the greatest running back of all time. There's a lot of great running backs. You have some people say, my boy Mott would maybe say Emmitt Smith. You got Barry Sanders. My favorite running back of all time is Eric Dickerson. But this is about the Mount Rushmore. So far we have Reggie White and Jim Brown. My number 3 player on the Mount Rushmore is Lawrence Taylor, the defensive end outside linebacker for the New York Giants. Taylor changed the game. Some people say he's arguably the best defensive player of all time. we're talking about this game that's been around for over 100 years, and people say Lawrence Taylor is the best defensive player of all time. Think about that. He was drafted pick number 2 in 1981 to the New York Giants. He played his whole career to the New York Giants. 1981 and 1993, won 2 Super Bowls, one of the few defensive players to win the NFL Most Valuable Player Award. Not the DYOP, not the BPOY, the Defensive Player of the Year. We're talking about the NFL MVP, and he won that honor in 1986. He's 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, along with J.J. Watt has won it 3 times. Lawrence Taylor won it 81, 82, and 86. Like I said, 8 first-team All-Pros, 2 second-team All-Pros. That's 10 All-Pros, 10 Pro Bowls, 2 Super Bowls, and being the greatest defensive player of all time, allegedly. He played his college ball at North Carolina. LT was a partier. He was in New York. He was from Williamsburg, Virginia. Little small town. He went to Chapel Hill, North Carolina, played college ball, then got to the Big Apple and kind of got wide open. Some of his stories off the field and what he was doing off the field are legendary. And could have been even better than he was, but he, kind of had some issues with drugs and things like that. But nonetheless, great player. He's probably now in his 60s. How does LT right now is probably 63 years old. So I would imagine he's probably slowed down somewhat. But so he's number 3 on my five player Mount Rushmore. And my number 4 player, my 4th player, is the only player to go to an HBCU out this group. And that is wide receiver Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice has all of the records in the NFL when it comes to receiving. Touchdowns, yards, those are the 2 most important ones, and Jerry Rice has those. He's the bar of what receivers should try to aspire to. He's that guy. He's who all receivers really measure themselves to. Even the young guys know Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice was drafted in 1985, pick 16 in round 1 to the San Francisco 49ers out of Mississippi Valley State. I used to watch Mississippi Valley State. They used to come on BET back in the day. Willie Totten was their quarterback. I remember that. I think their colors were red, white, and green. But I remember watching Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice grew up in Mississippi. His father was a bricklayer, and that's how he got so good with his hands and catching the ball, because he had to catch these big bricks when he would work with his father. And his workouts and workout routines are legendary. He always stays in shape. He was meticulous in his appearance, in his uniform. He was the neatest, cleanest guy in all of football as far as his uniform. The towel in the right place, socks just so, jersey tucked in. Jerry Rice was clean on that field because he felt like if you look good, you play good. And I can't say that I agree with him. Disagree with him. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion with a Super Bowl MVP. The Super Bowl against the San Diego Chargers in 1994. 2-time NFL Player of the Year. He was 10-time first-team All-Pro and second-team All-Pro 1 year. In like his 16th year, he was second-team All-Pro in 2002. He's a 13-time Pro Bowler, led the NFL in receiving for 6 seasons, led the NFL in scoring in 1987, and was a reception leader in 1990 and 1996. Again, on the 75th anniversary team, 100th anniversary team, number 80 is retired by the 49ers. And yeah, so his NFL records are most career receptions, 1,549. Most career receiving yards, 22,895. Most career receiving touchdowns, 197 touchdowns. Most total touchdowns in NFL history, 208. and most career all-purpose yards at 23,546. Needless to say, everybody I've named thus far is in the Hall of Fame. Jerry Rice is a Hall of Famer. All these guys, obviously, being the Mount Rushmore, you got to be in the Hall of Fame. But so he played most of his career. We know him best for his time with the 49ers. But after that, he played 4 good seasons with the Raiders, and they went to the Super Bowl. They didn't win it. They lost to a Tampa Bay team. Again, Tampa Bay before Tom Brady. I think this was when Brad Johnson was the quarterback, and they had a really good defense. He played a year for the Seattle Seahawks. Not really a great year, but he was well into his 40s when he retired. I think Jerry Rice was like 42 or 43 when he retired. So to be able to be that type of athlete and play in a position outside the quarterback and play for that long just speaks to what type of athlete Jerry Rice was. One of the greats. Maybe the all-time greatest offensive player, non-quarterback player in NFL history. That makes him the greatest receiver, better than any of the running backs, better than any tight ends. So now we'll come to the 5th player on my list, and we all know who it is. I give you guys 2 seconds to guess who this guy is. Okay, 2 seconds is up. I'll tell you his nickname. His nickname is the GOAT. Any idea yet? Yep, you got it. Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the GOAT. He wasn't always the GOAT. I think this last 10 years he solidified himself as the GOAT in the NFL. I mean, his first 3 Super Bowls he won with it. First of all, let me back up just a little bit. He was the 199th pick in the 6th round out the University of Michigan. So he wasn't highly touted. He wasn't one of those 5-star guys. Drafted to the New England Patriots. Excuse me. And he got his chance, I believe, in the 2001 season when Drew Bledsoe got injured and Tom Brady came in and never gave the position up. They went to a Super Bowl that year. The young guy led the team down on a game-winning field goal drive. Adam Vinatieri kicked it. He won 3 Super Bowls, I believe, in his first 5 or 6 years. And he wasn't the catalyst to those Super Bowl wins. They had really good defense, great coaching. Bill Belichick's probably the greatest coach. But like I said, he kind of solidified himself as the GOAT during his second part of his tenure in New England, when he won 3 more Super Bowls, basically on the arm of Tom Brady. He has an NFL record 55 touchdown passes in one season. He led the team to an 18-0 record. They lost that Super Bowl in 2007. Like I said, 5 Super Bowl MVPs. 5. 3 NFL MVPs. He got hurt in 2008. Was out for the whole year. And he came back in 2009 and won the NFL Comeback Player of the Year. He's a 3-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time second-team All-Pro, 15 Pro Bowls for the GOAT. Led the NFL in passing yards 4 seasons, passer rating 2 times, part of the 2000s All-Decade team, 2010s All-Decade team, 100th anniversary team. I mean, Tom Brady, all the accolades he has, NFL records, most wins, 243. Most career pass attempts, 11,317. Most career passing completions, 7,263. Most career passing touchdowns, 624. Most career passing yards, he's almost up to 85,000. After this year, he may be flirting with close to 90,000, but he'll probably end up around 88,000, provided he's healthy this year in Tampa. Most pass completions in the season, 485, and longest touchdown pass in the game, tied with one other person for a 99-yard touchdown. Tom Brady is a beast. So if his Patriots career wasn't enough to make him GOAT, which I think it probably would have been, and right behind him at that time was Joe Montana. But Tom Brady left New England 2 years ago, went to Tampa Bay, and in his first year, took Tampa Bay to a Super Bowl and won. So he has 7 Super Bowls. He has more Super Bowl rings himself than any other franchise in the NFL. I believe the 49ers have 6, the Patriots have 6, and the Steelers have 6. Cowboys have 5, and some other team might have 5. But Tom Brady has 7. So, he's playing. I believe this year will be his final year. I'm kind of rooting for them, lightweight rooting for them. Like to see. I just am a fan of greatness, and Tom Brady is great. I mean, he's been a great player all these years. He works hard. He's all about team. He's cool. I think he's a cool guy to me on the outside. Looking at him, he's like a cool guy. Close to my age. I'm only 5 years older than him. He's still playing in the NFL. And he married a supermodel. I mean, so what dude wouldn't look up to all that stuff? I mean, so I do. So Tom Brady is actually number 5. Not number 5, my 5th player on my Mount Rushmore. So, I just wanted to stop in here today and give you guys a quick rundown of Tate's take of what I see the NFL Mount Rushmore to be. And I'm about to get out of here. And if you like the content, again, like us on YouTube, like us on Facebook and Twitch. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We're everywhere. We'll be back here on Sunday, this Sunday evening at 6 o'clock Eastern time to talk about whatever's going on in sports. So thank you guys for joining me. I'm Tate, actually, a.k.a. Tate Boy Fresh. Thanks for joining me for another Know It All podcast. Peace.